I'm going to throw my ranking out real quick. So this is where I would rank this movie. I think it goes under On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but above Thunderball is where I would put this movie. I think this movie has a smart plot. I think the characters are all competent, and I actually enjoy everything. The things that kind of tear the movie down for me is like, it is a little confusing at times. I don't like what's-her-face, who's...
BB?
BB.
Get her out. Get the hockey guys out.
Who, Charlie? I know what you're gonna say because you gave me that little winky face about the the little pedophile moment. But the very end of the movie, when all said and is done and the ATAC has been thrown and everything, and then BB like comes rushing and she comes rushing to the aid of Columbo, and the Columbo gives him that look like, huh?
Yeah, Columbo's all right with that.
Seems though BB has a new sponsor.
The moment where he literally gives her nuts. Visual metaphor, that's all I gotta say. He dumps it right into her young hand. She really doesn't serve any purpose.
No.
The only purpose
Not
I can
really.
think of is he denies her. Like, he's not...
So Bond has some line.
It's like she's only there to give him reason to be in the Alps. Like, they were like, we need a reason why he's in the Alps.
Yeah.
She's the reason why he's in the Alps.
It's a pretty weak reason.
Because let's follow it through real quick. So he's like, this is, she's going to win the gold medal, and that'll be the best day of my life. This is her coach. And so then after that, it's like, okay, she clearly has a little crush on Bond. Will you escort her to the biathlon? Okay, sure. And then at the biathlon, Bond says, okay, I got to go. Like, even though he agreed to escort her, for some reason, he's like, okay, I have an appointment.
She does say, come back. She does say, come and see me before you leave. She does say that.
He leaves because he has an appointment. So what happens is he leaves her, then he has a 20-minute snow chase scene, and then he immediately goes and meets up with her. So it looks like he left her so he could have an action scene and then go meet up with her.
Yeah.
There's two. That's really one of two moments in this movie that kind of tear the movie down for me, and the other one is the keel haul scene, right? Or the knee haul scene, or whatever you want to call it.
Keel haul.
With the shark.
Yeah, keel haul.
Because the writer's like, all right, we got to set this up. So Melina's going to leave her oxygen tank by the ruins. Why? I don't know, but she's going to do it. So she leaves it by the ruins. Great. And then Bond and her get on the boat, and they're like, we got to find the ATAC. We know where the St. George was at.
Yeah.
Your father was looking for it. We have to find it. It must be in his notes. Oh, you can read his notes. Great. Read his notes. Also, we're going to throw in the Nautilus or whatever it was called in this. Was it Poseidon? Something like that? I can't remember. Yeah. We're going to throw in this Neptune, cool mini sub because, because we want to keep, it was the Neptune. Thank you. So we want to keep up with the time. So the Neptune, this is really cool piece of technology now that we have. We can go underwater in these mini subs. Great. We're going to put it in the movie. Cool. So we'll use the Nautilus, the Aqua little sub. Okay, cool. We have that little battle, which, by the way, I love that they set it up.
JIM diving equipment for salvage work at depths of more than 300 feet.
We see the suit when they said no heroin.
No.
How did that suit survive that explosion? Unless they had a second.
No. That scene's before it. So that scene is before that scene.
Yeah.
It's
so how did the suit survive that explosion? That's what I'm saying.
No. We see the suit in the warehouse, and then we're underwater.
Yeah, and then the guys in the suit down there, the whole warehouse blows up.
It does. It does.
So how the hell does that suit survive
different and significantly larger explosion?
But you could say that it's just to set up the fact that they have these suits, like they're using them for the smuggling operation. So he has multiples of those suits. And then he goes and gets the ATAC out. They have that little underwater battle, which, by the way, some of those scenes were actually filmed without any water. They were dry because the actress couldn't go underwater herself. They use some special techniques to do that, to make it look like they're actually underwater, but they're not. Anyway, so they have that scene, they get the ATAC, they come back underwater. Christophos...
Keep going.
Chris is up there, gets the ATAC from them, puts them underwater, and then they do the little bit with the knots, and that one guy falls off the boat, gets eaten by sharks, even though Bond is bleeding his guts out.
Yeah, and then that's when our little setup with the oxygen tank pays off.
And then we go back to that same boat that they started on when they're like, okay, now we got to figure out what the ATAC's at. It just feels like the scene repeats itself a little bit. and they do it twice in the movie. Like you were talking about, like he leaves BB, and then he comes back to BB.
Yeah,
and then stuff happens.
The tank at the bottom of the water, though, is fine in my book because had she just left it in a random place on the ocean floor, you'd be like, that's a little convenient. But it's this temple that she's trying to resurrect.
Careful, James. It's 5,000 years old.
You know, you leave your tools at a work site. It doesn't
yeah.
really trigger me at all.
I think it's not the
It's
fact
weird.
that
Why
she
not?
leaves her
Why
stuff
not?
there.
It's a little awkward.
It's those things are heavy, and so just kind
I
of
was
leaving
wondering,
it, you
right
know?
as that scene happened, I remember thinking, right as she took her tank off, put it down for no real apparent reason. I was like, why? Why the fuck are you leaving it there?
You know, if she was a Dolph humanoid, she wouldn't need that
No,
in the
she
first
wouldn't do
place.
that.
It brings up a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Where do you guys stand? Do you think that's a fair assessment, or do you think the movie should be lower? But I think it's just a very solid spy thriller, and I think it should be praised for that, but I do think it does have its shortcomings where I don't think it's the best Bond movie, but I do think it is definitely a contender as being better than all the previous Moore films, for sure.
I'm pretty much right with you. I was kind of 5 to 8, 9, somewhere in that range, which I think is where we are. If we're
That's a
putting
big
this
range.
above,
Pick a number.
That's a huge range.
if we're putting this above Honor Majesty's Secret Service, it would be.
Honor Majesty's Secret Service is currently 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm somewhere right there with those two, interchangeable. It felt a lot like the same film, kind of like Charlie said earlier, a lot of copy and paste, and we're trying the same things, except with a new director, new producer.
It's not. I mean, it's also better technology. I mean, that movie was filmed in the '60s. This is the early '80s. We got better technology now.